Good evening, my dear students. So, welcome to our discussion about global divides. So, we're going to locate where the global south is, where the global north is. So, try to focus your attention on the slide. What's the color of the first world? Pakitandaan ano po. So, they are in green color. How about the second world? They are in yellow. And the third world is in red. Ang tanong, bloody red ang ating bansa. So, we are part of what world? Perfect. Third world tayo. Ano po? So, sad to note that our country belongs to the third world. But then we'll be discussing further about this in the few slides that are coming. So that's the global division. We have the first world, the second world, and the third world. So what is the origin of the global divides? So we'll look at this picture. Look at the first picture. We have the animal named cheetah. Look at how the cheetah runs. What's the characteristic of a cheetah? Mabilis, fast-moving, fierce, focus. How about the other picture? The opposite of a cheetah, and that's a snail. How do we see the snail? Based on its movement. Is it fast-moving? How about focus? Is it focus? So, if we will be comparing this to that of the first world, the third world, and the other world, yung yellow, ano nga yung yellow? Kalimutan ko. The second world, makikita natin na yung representation shows na yung cheetah will be considered as the first world. And yung snail can be considered as the third world. Ano po? As to what? As to development, as to successes along economy, along peace, along different aspects of those things that matters in the 21st century. So, the Global Divides was published under the Brandt Report that was published by a commission chaired by the former German Chancellor Willy Brandt. Kaya yung tawag is Brandt Report in 1983. So based on his report, he identified the North and the South. Ano po? So, if titingnan natin, geographically speaking, pag sinabi nating North, these are those countries that are above the South, 30-degree north. Geographically, meaning, base sa mapa, yan yun. Pero pag pinag-usapan natin ang global divides, we are not just talking about the geographical location. Ano po? So, pag sinabi nating north, literally, yan yung countries na 30 degrees above north. Above the south, 30 degrees north. How about the south? The south is a geographical convenience based on the fact that most of the poor world lies south of latitude 30 degrees north, except Australia and New Zealand. So, yan naman yung location ng south. Pero, kung titingnan naman natin, hindi yung geography, kundi yung economic situation ng mga nasa south, sila yung mga poor countries that are, that lies south of latitude 30 degree north. Pero, may exemption. Hindi kasali si Australia and New Zealand. Kung pag-uusapan is hindi geography, kundi yung economic situation. Okay. So, here is the geographic representation of the global divides. But then, if you'll be looking at the map, wala naman itong guhit na to talaga. But talking about the contemporary world issues, meron tayong tinatawag na global divides. Who are these? The rich north and the poor south. Look at the adjective used in the northern part of the world. The rich. How about the south? The poor south. Kung titingnan natin, sana ma-zoom nyo sa sa cellphones nyo. Diba kanina na-mention ko na si Australia and New Zealand is part of the rich north. That is why when we talk about the divides, global divides, hindi ito yung lugar, kundi yung yaman na meron ang isang bansa for it to be considered as rich or for it to be considered as poor. Tutukan natin po. So, nasaan yung Pilipinas? Again, sad to note, we are in the poor south. Ano po? And mostly, countries that are in the poor south are those countries that were colonized before. That's one reason. Ano po? Kung bakit up to this time, nandun pa rin yung nandun pa rin yung tira-tira na kumbaga tawag natin doon, yung garulagod na up to this time, though several years already have passed, several decades have passed, and yet we still have that poor situation, economic situation. Moving on, who are the global north? The global north comprises 1/4 of the world population. So, ilan sila? 1/4. Imagine niyo ang isang pizza. Wow. Pizza. Ngayon, hatiin niyo siya sa 4. Yung 1/4 nun, siya lang yung nasa global north. Again, si global north is the rich north. So, paano yung 3/4? Di doon na yun sa natira. Sino yun? Doon tayo sa south, sa poor south. Ano po? So, the global north refers to the developed societies of whom? Of Europe and of North America, which are characterized by established, again, the term is established, meaning may kapusugan. May kapusugan ng democracy. Established yung kanilang democracy. Established yung wealth, kita yung yaman, ramdam yung yaman. Established yung technological advancement. Established yung political stability. Lessen yung corruption, alam nung people and authority yung mga functions nila sa gobyerno. Then, however, ang global north din ay merong aging population. Plus, they have the zero population growth. Halos matatanda and halos walang mga kabataan na siyang magmamana ng mga future generations ng mga countries na nandito. Plus, global north has that dominance of world trade and politics. Sila yung nangunguna when it comes to trading, when it comes to economy, when it comes to politics. So, yan yung description natin about global north. How about the global south? The global south are the developing countries. So, sino yon? They comprise the 3/4 of the world population. Sabi natin, yung 1/4 will be given to the north and the 3/4 will be given to the south. Ano po? Sino nga si south? Yung poor. So, meaning, 3/4 ng world population is poor. So, mainly, they are represented by agrarian economies. Balikan natin, technological advancement dun ki North. Dito naman, ki South, more on agrarian economies. Particularly, in Africa, in India, China, Latin America, and others na that are not as economically sound and politically stable as their global counterpart. Kabaliktaran siya ni Global North. Meaning, hindi politically stable, nag-aaway sa mga posisyon, ang daming corruption, namumroblema sa ekonomiya, utang here, utang there, and wala silang established democracy because they are characterized by turmoil, war, conflict, poverty, anarchy, and tyranny. So, yan yung description kay Global South. More on kaguluhan, kalituhan, paghihirap, and tawag doon, ang mga political leaders ay merong mga personal vested interest. May mga pansariling rason kung bakit sila nasa pwesto. And not for the general welfare of the people. So let us name some countries that belongs to the north and of the south. So who are in the global north? They are North America, Western Europe, Canada, Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong, nasaan na yan? Hong Kong, Macau, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand. Sila yon. Kaya kung kayo naman po in the future, which I would allow you to do if ever you wish to go abroad, go to these places kasi these countries are rich countries. So, mas makakatulong kayo kung dito kayo pupunta sa mga countries na nasa Global North. How about the Global South? We have Malaysia, Somalia, Haiti, Lebanon, India, and there it is, the Philippines. Ano po? By the way, may mga pag-aaralan pa tayo about global cities. Dun sa mga lesson natin about global cities, doon natin makikita kung saan ba, which countries are the best countries to work with or to live in. So, pero hindi itong mga countries ng Global North nalalayo doon. Ano po? That would be few more topics after this. So, tandaan natin yung mga nasa South, Malaysia, Somalia, Haiti, Lebanon, India, Philippines. Ma'am, sinda lang po. No, madami sila. Remember, 3/4 of the globe is part of the Global South. So, the term the North, when used in global context, are alternative designation for developed and developing countries. So, develop na, sa kasi papadevelop pa lang. So, the North-South divide is broadly considered as socio-economic and political divide. Kaya nga hindi tayo nag-uusap dito ng geography, yung mga 30 degrees above, 30 degrees below. Ang pinag-uusapan talaga natin dito is yung socio-economic and political stability na siyang nagdi-determine ng division, ng pagkakahati. Ano po? So, the Global North refers to the first world countries or developed countries. Ano po? The Global South refers to the third world countries or the developing countries. Ano po? So, yon. Nililinaw natin na pag Global South, sila yung mahihirap and sila yung developing. Pag North naman, inano na siya, separate na siya. Kasi dito sa nauna, kabali si developed and developing. Pero, to give description, who are the countries in the Global North, sila yung first world countries or mga developed countries. So, sa Global South, sinali na ngayon yung developing and underdeveloped countries or the third world countries. So, kaya pumasok na 1/4 lang yung sa developed or Global North. Kaya nakasali, dumami talaga at naging 3/4 kasi kasali na sa third world country yung developing countries. Okay. So let us look at the characteristics of the North and the characteristics of the South para makita natin yung distinction. How come that these countries are part of the North and how come that our country is part of the South? So one characteristic is that the North has 1/4 of the world's population. Sabi ko na nga, and 3/4 naman yung sa South. Kung kailan siya yung mahihirap, siya yung napakadaming population. And since nga technologically advanced, politically stable, madaming adjective, magagandang adjective ang binigay kanina about the North, kaya 4/5 of world's income is in the North. So imagine nun, 5 ang muro mo sa kamot, halion ang sarong muro, 4. Yang 4 na yan, yaman yan or kita yan ni North. So, kung suarin ka dakol, 3/4 ang population, si tada ng sarong muro, yan yung kita ng nasa South. See? Kaunti yung tao, kadami ng kita. Ang dami ng tao, iisa lang yung kita. So, see the difference. Nakikita nyo yung pagkakaiba. Another, average life expectancy of more than 70 years. Kung gustong halawig ang buhay, maglipat sa North. Why? Ang life expectancy mo is more than 70 years. How about sa South? 50. One reason is that yung healthcare ng nasa mayayamang country, sabi natin, 'di ba? Technologically advanced. So lalo na sa ngaraning tawag doon, health, 'di ba? This time around, we can cheat death. Kadto kalinturahon ka lang sarong semanang udo-udo ngayaw kalintura, dedso kapihan ka na. Pero with the advent of new technology, stage 4 na nga ni nabubuhay pa. Look at Chris Aquino. Chris Aquino na lang. Because of the amount of money that she has, because of the technology of the hospitals where she stayed for treatment, humahaba yung buhay niya. Pero kung ordinaryo lang yan, ama na. So nakikita natin that since the northern part, which are considered as rich, humahaba yung buhay because of the technology, because of the advancement in health. Dito naman sa atin, sad to note, may cancer na ngaya, may kidney disease na, anong sasabihin? Ay, duman mo ngaya dalahon kitsa tabaka ngaya nakaigo lang. Baka ngaya nirawrawan. Because that is our way of doing something rather than not doing anything for the sake of our loved ones. Kasi hindi naman natin kayang maidala sa high-end ng mga hospitals. So what do we do is to resort to faith healing. And by the way, just a trivia. Between the North and the South, who is more religious? Of course, the one in the South. Kasi tayo yung may mga sinasabing bahala na. When we say bahala na, we refer to bathala na. Meaning, si kagurang na ang bahala. Kasi, at our end, we did our best, and yet, it is not good enough. Kasi nga, kulang yung ating capacity and capability. Kulang yung kakayahan natin. Kaya, yung buhay dito sa South, nasa 50 lang. So, we have to be cautious. So, dahil sa ganitong mga life expectancy, tayo naman as individual, hindi naman natin nahayaan na hanggang 50 lang ang buhay ta. So, kayod pa more, work pa more, healthy pa more, para humaba naman. At kahit wala tayo sa North, we can still go up to 70 and up. Ganon. Ano po? Another reason why humahaba yung buhay ng nasa North, because they have enough food to eat. Madami silang pagkain. In fact, Saan ba merong mga tawag natin doon, dun sa dumpster diving, 'di ba? Si Inday Roning kasi I love watching dumpster divers doing the dumpster diving. 'Di ba? Saan may mga dumpster na mga basurahan na madaming laman na pwede pa? Saan 'yun? Dun sa mga mayayamang bansa. Alagad man digdi sa tuya, sus, nilalangaw na si Batag, tinitinda pa. Kasi nga, nag-aadimuhan man. That is why in our divide, characteristic of the South rather is 1/5 or more. Saro sa 5 or mas madami pa suffers from hunger and malnutrition. So yan yung mga nangyayari. Talagang kulang. Marami dito sa atin, kung titingnan, even sa school, pag kumukuha kami ng body mass index, meron talagang mga estudyante that are not just malnourished, but considered as wasted. Pag sinabing wasted, talagang your nutrition really needs attention. So, yan yung problema natin. Hunger and malnutrition. Iba yung hunger ha. Ang hunger talaga, gutom. Kagutuman. Even in Africa, I've seen a documentary na yung brown bagang daga na ginigibong kuron, dalipay. Tigta-try ninda itong gibuning parang cookies para lang makakaninda. But then there's no nutrition. And at the same time, that's a foreign thing na ilalaog mo sa hawak mo. But that answers their hunger. Pero sala pa din kasi it might cause them illnesses. So, that's the reality. Saro, sana, sa 5 muro, ang ano yan, tawag dyan, ang problema, saro sana ang nakakakakan sa 5 dapat kumakan. Parang ganun ang ratio and proportion natin dyan. Ano po? Another, more people are educated in the North. Yun nga, may pera, may yaman. Ang educational system nila magaganda. So, at dahil magaganda yung educational system nila, for sure, these graduates will be innovating, will be improving what is at present. Kaya nga nagkakaroon ng advancement sa technology. How about in the South? Only 1/2 of the people have little chance of any education. Kabanga sana kang percentage ang pwedeng magkaigwaning chance of education. In fact, sabi nga ni, there might be people in a lifetime ng mga nakatira sa Africa na they lamang makakapot cellphone or they do not know what money is. Ganun sila kahirap. Ano po? As to the North, over 90% of the world's manufacturing industry is in the North. Yaon sa ang industries. Again, kanina when we define global South, sila yung agricultural. Kaya, 10% lang ng world's population or world's industry rather is in the South. 10% lang ang manufacturing industry. Kasi mostly ay industrial, or not industrial, but agricultural. Ano po? About 96% of the world's spending on research and development is in the North. Kaya lalo silang yumayaman, 'di ba? Imagine, naghahanap ng matitirhan sa Mars. Tinatry nilang i-explore ang solar system. Because marami silang pera. They can do that. How about here? Di ba nga sa atin, marami naman sanang mga innovation na nagagawa yung Filipino and yet not being supported by the government. Kasi pag isusupport, most probably maapektuhan yung economy. Like say for example, solar energy. Maraming mga inventions na nagawa ang Filipinos about solar energy. Pero hindi binibigyang pansin. Kasi kung bibigyang pansin, paano na ang tawag natin doon, gaya ng mga kasoreko. 'Di ba pinagkukunan niya ng taxes ng gobyerno? So, because of which, yan din yung reason why hindi tayo nakakaalpas sa kahirapan. Kasi, our government, for that matter, is not supporting those innovators, those inventors, those researchers na may nagagawa naman talaga, kaya lang kulang sa suporta ng gobyerno. So, those are the characteristics of the North and of the South. So, what is the impact of global divides? So, siguro mamadaliin ko ito kasi at 7:30 we have an online meeting with Sir Angel. Ano po? So, bibilis-bilisan ko na lang. So, the impact of global divide. So, the globalized world faces two contradictory trends. While a globalized market opens the prospect of unimagined wealth, it also creates new vulnerability to political turmoil and the danger of new gaps. So, sabi na kaya sa, 'di ba, when we talk about globalization, it is interconnectedness. It is collaboration. But then, dahil nakikita sa global community yung mahihirap at yung mayayaman, lalong nagki-create siya ng vulnerability or pagiging mas vulnerable or parang pwede ka agad-agad matalo yung isang country because of the different problems a certain poor country has. Like ngayon, in America, stable sila. Ang Pilipinas naman, nag-aagawan ng posisyon, nagkokorakot, and so on. So, because of which, makikita natin yung gap that those sinasabing globalization, interconnectedness, shrinking of the world, connection through communication, and yet makikita natin na may contradictory trend, nagkukontrahan sila. Ano po? The impact of this new trend on the developing world is profound. An economy is driven by a near imperative for the big to acquire the small. Yung malalaking kumpanya, tingnan na lang natin dito sa atin, in the local setting. Dumating si Pure Gold, dumating si JNF, dumating si yung dito, Star Mall. Ano Star Apple. Star Master, anek-anek, dyan. So, what happened to the small stores beside them? Di ba nagkawalaan yung iba? Kasi they cannot compete. Ganon din yung nangyayari sa mga bansa na mayayaman and sa mga bansa na mahihirap. Yung mahihirap, nahihirapan sila to compensate and to be at par or makarating man lang sa meron ang first world. So, yan yung impact ng globalization. Yan yung impact ng division. That though pinipilit na dapat magkaisa, dapat magtulungan, di ba? In our discussion, free trading, crossing borders, but still, meron talagang makikita na disparity or pagkakaiba yung first world and third world. Plus the fact na nilileso natin ito, meaning, ang mga economists, ang mga social groups, ina-identify talaga nila kung sino yung mga first world, sino yung mga second world, sino yung mga third world. Kasi kung equal ang tinginan ng bawat isa, bakit merong ganitong mga names? Bakit may ganitong mga divides? Ano po? Companies of developing countries are increasingly being absorbed by American and European multinationals. Yung mga binabarakal na ninda, si kumpanya, kang mga saradit. Mangna na lang ta, halimbawa ngaya, sarong car company, si ano pala ngaya, si Mitsubishi, binakal na ngaya si tawag doon? Si Nissan. Yun. Dahil inaabsorb na nung mga bigger companies yung mga smaller companies. And we call them as multinational companies. While this while this solves the problem of access to capital, it also brings about growing vulnerabilities to domestic political tension, especially in times of crisis. And within the developing countries, it creates political temptations for attack on the entire system of globalization. So, lalong mas hindi secure yung mga mahihirap na countries. But then, we are thankful, na gaya kanina, yung discussion natin about United Nations, that we are also being protected by international organization. So, the typical developing country's economy bifurcates. Bakit? One set of enterprise is integrated into the global economy and it is mostly owned by international corporation. So, si Saro, kaya bifurcates do ang pagkakabanga. Si Saro, ini-integrate niya na si Sadiri niya sa global economy. The rest naman, cut off from globalization. Habunin na kang globalization. That is why, meron tayong magiging discussion. Sunod naman nito is the hindi globalization but nalingaw na ako kung si pangalan. Pero may kong tigtasabi. I forget the name. Nalingaw talaga ako. Kasi I'm thinking na 5 minutes na lang. May pasok na ako sa, papasok ako sa link. So, siguro the reason why I forget it because I need to focus on the next task that I have, and that is to attend the online conference with the CCC top management headed by Sir Angel. Anyway, konti na lang naman na to. So, basta yung opposite ng, yun, regionalization, lintas mo na term ni, halisa na. So, yung isa, nakianib puwersa na sa global economy, yung isa naman ay bumitaw sa globalization. At naging na lang siyang regionalization, which will be discussed in the next meeting. Ano po, I don't know if I'll be working on another video lesson or baka dun ko na to i-discuss sa klase. Ano po. But then the objective why I made this para at least mabawasan na ako ng gagawin. So, nasa inyo na lang, my dear students, to access this, to work on this, to listen on this, kasi po, ang manner ng pagpipresent natin ng lesson is in order. Ano po siya? Chronological order siya para may connection ang lesson nating nauna sa mga susunod na lesson. So, I hope you would also be giving time to listen to this discussion and in one way or another, learn from it. Ano po, kaya if you would be noticing, may pa-Bicol, may pa-Tagalog, may pa-joke, para daig din naman kamo ma-board. So with this, thank you very much. Ma-attend akong meeting. Sige. Goodbye. Thank you for attending.